What's up, guys? Welcome to the Music Hacks Network. Today we have a special presentation for you. Today we have Mr. Delroy White
What's up, man?
in studios with us.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, we are going to bring Delroy over our center stage. Delroy, finally we get you
Right,
to be on your organ.
right. That part. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
So how have you been?
I've been doing good. Just been busy, very, very, very busy. A lot of organ clinics and shows and all that type of stuff. Thank God that things are starting to pick up back during this pandemic and stuff. So yeah.
All right. As I said earlier, Delroy, that we had the chance of doing an interview with you, and
Right.
we have always promised the viewers and subscribers that one of these days we are going to allow you to demonstrate your skills on the organ.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Yes, sir.
And today is the day.
Yes.
But I understand that you moved out of state for a while.
I left Alaska in 2019. I'm now residing in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm currently
right
in
now
Atlanta right now. I'm currently in Atlanta this
Okay.
minute. Yes, sir.
Cool. Cool. All right. It's a pleasure to have you here today, bro.
Yes, sir.
And we are going to light the Music Hacks Network on fire with some organ today.
Oh, God.
All right. So if you're tuning in to the Music Hacks Network, welcome. Make sure you hit that subscribe icon and make sure
sir.
you like today's video. But Delroy, before you actually go into your demonstrations, I'm going to ask you just to tell just some things about the organ, some fun facts about the organ.
Right. Okay. First, well, the organ, the Hammond organ. Well, I'm actually on the Viscount organ. I'm in the studio with two organs right now. One is the Hammond A102, and this is the new type, the Viscount Legend by Keybe organ. So the organ pretty much is a keyboard electronic instrument that has more than two manuals, but in the Hammond brand is normally two manuals, comprised of 9 sets of drawbars, which 4 sets of drawbars, which would be 9. It has a bass, 2 bass drawbar pedals, which is the 16 and the 8. I will explain those later. What's the meaning of those? The meaning of those drawbars and so forth. Also have a Leslie switch. We have a lot of stuff like the chorus vibrato, the soft and normal, the percussion, which I will start get into shortly, and then we have the presets right here. These black and white over here. These are for like different preset sounds, because you pretty much make music with the drawbars, which I'll explain shortly. So, and then we have a 3300 right here. As you can see on the camera, it has a 300 watt solid state of power, RMS, and it's pretty good. Really nice. Really nice.
All right. In terms of skills, what does it take to master this instrument?
My recommendation for upcoming, organists is make sure that you be at a certain level in piano. I wouldn't say master the piano, but you should, master it at a certain level, because when you're starting to transition from piano to organ, this is where things come into place. You have to be playing, both manuals at the same time. You have to be playing pedals at the same time. You have to be running the switch, pulling out drawbars, and all that type of stuff. Yes, sir. Driving the truck.
Man, that's
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
that seems like no joke there, Delroy.
Yeah, and it
Man,
takes a lot of practice, a lot of practice, a lot of practice, a lot of practice. You gotta know, you have to know the heart of the organ, which is the drawbars, the tone wheel, different tones and so forth, and so forth. So yeah, um, and I will say this too. Um, Most like these keyboards, the workstation synthesizers like the Motif, the Chronos, and so forth. Um, the organs that you're hearing from it, those are sample organs. It's coming from this.
wow.
Yes. So, for
Okay.
example, like we reggae people like there's I think there's a sample on the Motif, the fluty.
Right.
Yeah, that's just one drawbar right there, and that drawbar is called the fourth, I'm sorry, the eighth drawbar. All right, so but before even going into the drawbars, the meaning of them, pretty much the Hammond was made. As I said, I ain't gonna get into it because it's kind of a long story. The Hammond pretty much was an organ that was made to come after the pipe organ churches, and so forth, just to give you that sound and so forth. So that was the intention of Lawrence Hammond in 1935. He made the Hammond A. My church back in Jamaica has a Hammond A, the oldest Hammond, and the first production of Hammond. It looks like a B3, but it's pretty much shorter than a B3. It has, of course, vibrato generator is different. It's wax capacitors, and all that type of stuff. Now, the Leslie is a different thing. It was a different guy who made the Leslie. His name was Mr. Donald Leslie. He made his in 1941. So Hammond originally did not want. It was his intentions was just to build an organ, just to compete with the pipe organ companies, but not really to add a Leslie with it. As a matter of fact, there were lawsuits on that, because they didn't invent it, they didn't want it, so it was just arrogance, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which part of it do you call the Leslie?
The
Can you
Les,
show us?
yes, the Leslie, as you can see right here. I don't know if my camera can. Yeah, this is the whole cabinet. There's a spinning parts. So the top one is the horn. The bottom one is it has a rotor in it. So it has, for example, with the Leslie, it's not. It has a driver in there. It has a bow upper and lower driver. So the Leslie was made to give you that Doppler effect. So for example, it's on stop right now because I have a 3-speed switch. So 3-speed is in, you have slow. See that?
Okay.
And they have stop.
I'm gonna let me try and put it up. Right.
Right. So yeah, you have the slow. You have the stop. And then you have the fast.
Okay.
And that's just to the top. Now, what makes it really motion is, for example, if you're playing, let me put it in stop mode. So originally, Lawrence Hammond organs going through stationary speaker would sound just like this, right? It didn't have no type form of tremolo or all that type of stuff. The only thing it had was, of course, vibrato that had that somewhat of a tremolant effect. But it was just straight. No, with the Leslie going through it is like, that's on stop. So if you put it on slow, you hear that. So while the horn going clockwise, anti-clockwise, the bottom rotor is going clockwise. So they're spinning at different direction. And then when you flip the switch to tremolo, so you hear that build up. of changed the game, especially with jazz organists and stuff, gospel organists, pop organists, all that type of stuff. It really changed the game in Hammond organ, not only playing but just the tone and the sound and other features. Yeah. So
Okay.
yes, sir.
All right. Let's look at the drawbars now because I'm kind of fascinated with the with the drawbars. When I'm watching organists doing
Right.
their thing,
Yes,
it's
sir.
almost like every second or
Yep.
yes, maybe like every second these guys they're changing, they keep changing something. What's up with that?
So I'm glad you said that. So right now, I don't know if hopefully I can, if you my camera can, if y'all can see the drawbars at close. So these
Yeah, we're
ones
seeing
are
that.
all right. So I pull. So I push all the drawbars back in. So on this preset right here, where my fingers on, which is the B flat preset, the B flat and the B preset, those keys are in charge of each sets of drawbars. So B flat will be for this set, which on the great manual, and this is the swell. You have the great and the swell. Great manual is the manual that you mostly play on. The swell you normally do your runs, your bass runs, or all that type of stuff. So, yeah. Um, what I was going to say as well. So let's start off with drawbars real quick. So each drawbars are like different degrees of pipe or flute that is based off from the pipe organ. So for example, I'm gonna put it in stop. The Leslie's on stop. So this is your 16. It's your 501 third, 8, 4, 2 and 2/3, 2, 2 and 3/5. I think 2 and 1/3, and this is 1. All right. So you notice the octaves and the pitch slightly change, and they differ from each. And actually, the tone that you're hearing is coming from a watch, the mechanical tone wheel. That's when it's in the Hammond, it spins. So for each drawbars that you pull, it gives off a certain pitch. You know. But the trick is how to use them. That's where you have to
Right.
practice. That's the trick of it. All right. It's like a mixer board. You have to know which one is which. So if you're gonna play the reggae, back to the reggae, for example, there's a sample called the Flutie on the Motif, on the Yamaha Motif series. Motif XF, all them ES go up. I'll just pull out this one right here. Let me see. This one. This is the 8. You can pull this one out, but guess what's gonna happen? The octave's gonna go down lower. If you pull this one out, you hear that?
Okay.
So if I'm gonna do reggae, you can't use either or either, but you have to just make sure you have to remember which one or which, because the 16 you have to you put up your octave up here, so, but it's more full, because that's a 16 degree. That flute is a 16 flute, so it's bigger than the 8 flute. You hear that? So, say you want something more mellow. Like Bob Marley. If you listen to you probably know this. same preset. Yeah. So, yes,
Awesome,
sir.
awesomeness there, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
So,
All right, cool. All right, so what exactly are you gonna do first now in terms of playing?
I'm gonna do a little bit of everything. For example, like the present other features that the organ has. Like for example, these new clone wheel organs has the reverb like the old Hammonds, where for example, if you want to do hymns. All right, so say if before I even start here, let me do like let me see something. All right, so first of all, one thing with the organ, you have different volume. You have the volume pedal that you see right here on the pedals right here. Crescendo. You have the normal, soft and normal. So if more and more volume, depends on how much drawbar is it set at. Then you have the chorus vibrato. You have different types. So this is the most popular one that jazz organists be using. Like let me see. Let me see. You know, so with this knob here, you have the C3, the chorus. Let me see. Uh, this is C3. You have V1. There's a difference between chorus and vibrato. So that's what I'm doing right now so y'all can hear. So as again, we're talking about the features. So these are the features talking about. So first, let's go back to C3. V1, that's vibrato 1. C1, that's chorus 1. V2, vibrato 2. C2, chorus 2. V3, vibrato 3. And it's known in some old school hymns. What's the name? The late Elvis Presley or Jimmy Reeves. And they have the C3, which is chorus 3. So you notice each chorus and vibrato feature that I turn, the texture, the depth of the frequency is different, you know, and stuff. So, but let's go to say my approach on the organ regarding like if I'm in church. Let me see. One thing I have to say too, this is very important here. Well, the organ is very different from the piano because guess what? You don't have a sustain. You are the sustain pedal pretty much on the organ, if that makes sense. You know, um, you have to use your hands. We just hold on the cards. Right? So if you notice, you with my chord movements, I have to be pulling on the drawbars to change the color of the organ because you don't want it to be too much on the same thing. You see what I say? Um, yeah. Let me see. Here's another one too. Ah, let's go to jazz real quick. Crosstalk. And then yeah, they have a setting with Malik up here. Tony Monaco, he's a jazz organist. He'd be like, let's see, so Chris, if you notice, for those who watching the camera, my legs moving all over the place, playing everything, switching out drawbars. That's the complexity of the organ, you know.
That's crazy stuff, bro.
Yes, sir.
Wow. I was saying the hands and the legs, the combination there, man. I just can't figure out how that is done.
Yes.
You know?
Especially jazz too. You
Yeah.
have to practice because you mentioned something crucial regarding the pedaling. That's what we call for your foot dancing on the pedals. Pretty much, you tap dancing on the pedals. There is a pattern. For pianists, we'll do fingering. We'd call it footing. So I have to be like heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, heel, toe, or toe, 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 heel. Yeah.
Wow. But what sort of exercises do you use to sort of separate the brain, though? To think about
Good.
all of these things at the same time.
I think it's
Do you have any exercises?
for me, not precise, but I think it's years of practice because playing in the Pentecostal Apostolic Church, um, and with the shout music, which I'll go to next in a couple of minutes, Lord, um, I have to kind of split my mind, you know, like if I'm playing chords here, and I'm playing chords here or soloing, I have to if I'm playing bass on the organ, I have to think as a bass player, you know, so forth. And sometimes there's a conflict, with organists and bass players because
Oh, you know that that's gonna cause some trouble though.
yes, yeah, it's sometimes some conflict because sometimes me and TJ be playing, and TJ, if he's not on his lead guitar and he on his bass, and sometimes if he plays something, and then sometimes I'll be playing chord. Like for example, if he let me see let me that right there, yeah, he be looking at me funny because I'm killing him on the bass because I'm just coupling the chords.
Right.
You know, so
All right. So
yes, sir.
how do you stay out of the bass player's lane?
Hey, it's a challenge for me. Well, one thing I can say is, you, as an organist, you have to know your place in the band, because yes, the organ got the bass pedals, and yes, you want to play the bass and so forth. But at the same time, if you have a bass player that's there, you don't want to make the music too muddy. You understand? Sometimes you can come in and out, but my advice is make sure you pull down your drawbars, your bass drawbars. Special top music. Um, you don't hear the bass as much. You know this? Versus,
Yeah.
too muddy. So
Right.
you want kind of. So you kind of discern or feel out, the service or the bass player and so forth. So, but as an organist, you do take charge if you're the MD and so forth, depending on what's going on, depending on what's going on, the concert, church room. But at the same time, as an organist, you should respect the bass player, yes. Even though sometimes it's tempting to play the bass. Um, both bass
All
players hate
right.
when the organist
Cool.
drums, but yeah.
All right. How does the organ now fits in an ensemble? Tell us something about that.
It fits in very well. It can be tricky. Again, if you know how to use the drawbars. These, that's one of the most um, key stuff for Hammond. You have to know your drawbar because sometimes, say I play we give you all C sharp. We worship. Let's see. You notice how I changed that drawbar and it just changed the whole color right there. We worship you alone. You are worthy to be praised. You know, Let's see. We exalt thee. Sometimes I'll be. I want something mellow. And then sometime what I do too. I don't want to be playing all the cards here. I'll be just like just solo. Let me see. You know. So it just depends. You just have to kind of know your drawbars, because sometimes the organ can be even overbearing. Sometimes you don't want to be playing we exalt, and you're like, nah, too much, too much. So sometimes and sometimes in certain songs you don't even need to play chords. Now sometimes the chords help because with the organ it's like a blanket, like gravy we put on rice sometimes. But too much gravy, no good. So sometimes you
So
just
true.
want to go ahead, clog up your intestine and all them types of stuff there, if you want like some stuff, like say the keys you are playing, you have an EP or a aux keyboard player, and I'm gonna play the cards, and the cards are already fat. All you just do some run, you know. Ah, you know. Hymns
Yeah, man.
is another thing I want to
Hymns.
touch. Yes.
Let's go to some hymns.
Let's see. All right, this is one of Americans' top hymns. Let me see. Let's see. I'm pressing on. Let me see. Yes, sir. Oh, Lord.
Delroy, man.
I was tired.
Creating a buzz on the Music Hacks Network. All right. What I wanted to do, Delroy, before you actually go into some church,
Uh-oh.
some stomping and some shouting, some preacher stuff, I wanted to break down one of those hymns so that those persons who did not actually understand
Okay.
maybe the chordal structure and stuff like that, just
Right.
for 2 minutes.
Right. Okay. So and there's another hymn we want to play too now. Let's see. All right, let's go with Yes, Lord. Well, let me use a popular. Well, that's a popular hymn in the U.S. But let's see, what was the song I played before? Before I went into Yes, Lord.
I'm pressing on.
Oh, right. All right. So if you notice, like with hymns, I try to make the melody stick out, even if I'm playing chords. So let me see. So I'm in A flat. I'm pressing on. So I'm in A flat. A flat at 9. A flat at 9/7. A flat diminished. New highs I'm getting with a 5 bass. Sharp 2. Sharp 1 going to the 2. From every 5. Still pressing to the 6. So I did a like a movement going to the like a 7 7 3 6. So I'm pressing and then sometimes I'll go to the flat 7. So now I just did almost like pretty much like an E flat major, but I add a chromatic thing to it. And now write it. That's a E flat diminished to the 2. So I make sure that my chords accompanies the choir or the solo, whoever is singing it, whatever it's a missionary at the church. Now some churches back home in Jamaica can't play spelling card there. So you have to play a safe guard with it. For example, you can't door flat my I'm gonna say now play nice spirit. So I try to make it. I just feel out the service or wherever I'm at, you know. So make it simple. 2 bass, and then 5 ground. Lord, plant my feet on higher. You know, so something like that. It's very good. With him, some hymns that use like reverb. I'll show you. Oh, let me see. This is a very popular one. Up here, the Lord's Prayer. That's a very classical hymn that they use here in the AME Baptist Catholic. You can hear the reverb at first and so forth. So with hymns, depends on which hymns, the era and all that type of stuff, the reverb used and so forth. Yes, sir.
All right. Cool. All right.
Church.
Back to church.
Okay.
All right.
Lord have mercy.
Let's go, Delroy. Let's get it on.
All right. Let's start with some preaching chords. So when I came to the States, I had to learn different styles of like East Coast, West Coast, all that type of backing up the preacher and all that type of stuff. So say for example he's in F. Let's see. And sometimes depends on which part of the state today. Some of these organists they play very aggressive. You know. All that type of stuff. Let's see. All that type of stuff. So pretty much like in the number system, 3, 4, 5. All that type of stuff. Yeah. Baptist preachers, they be like, let me see. They're like these type of, all that type of stuff.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. Yeah. And then sometimes, let's see. Let's go C sharp. And then sometimes going into a praise break from a deliverance session with a preacher. All that type of stuff. I normally do certain drawbar settings like to make it scream out. Let me see. That type of stuff. Or there's another one too I like to use sometimes. That type of stuff. Let's see. So going to a praise break. Let me see. that type of stuff. Yes, sir.
Woo! Church getting hot in here, Delroy. Good God Almighty. Oh, yeah.
And then I say, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Let's see, I don't want to. Yeah, we're doing a lot of relative movements. Let's see. You know, all that type of stuff. Yeah.
All right, Delroy, so how does this enhances the worship, right? I wanted to address that a little.
As in the praise break? You talking about the praise break deliverance or what?
Yeah, yeah, all of that. The chords played with the preachers preaching, then the praise break.
Yeah, it does drive the church a lot, especially if the preacher wants to go somewhere. When I played with Noel Jones and Bishop Sheard, for example, Drawbars, they like that push, like let's see, you know, them type of stuff. They like when the organ just, you know, it just wake up the congregation. You know, you know,
Okay.
you know.
So
Yes, sir.
the preachers pull from that energy that the organ brings.
Yeah, cause I mean it just like not all that grow.
Right.
All that type of
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
What about being in sync in terms of the key that the preacher is preaching in? I know that they normally preach in a key.
Right.
How important is it for you to operate within the same key as the organist?
It's good to follow and flow with the preacher. And I will say, oh my God. It's why I say that because for one, you have to be careful accompanying a preacher. At the end of the day, it's not you, it's him. You following him. You see what I'm saying? You're pushing him, you're accompanying him. You know what I'm saying? It's not he accompanying you. That makes sense. You know? So, like, for example, me, drawbar settings again. Noel Jones, he'd be like, and God said, you know, all that type of stuff. So I'll just come up, like, creep up, you know, under him a little bit there. You know? And then sometime when I'm ready to get very churchy, you know, that's when we just pull up. You know? And then someone, take me higher. And then take me higher. You know, all that type of stuff. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Delroy, we're having fun inside the Music Hacks Network, and I just glanced over YouTube, and we have a couple of persons there. We have Bolo, we have Ricardo, Delroy, Thomas,
Okay.
MHM, and those guys are really enjoying the stream. All
Yes,
right,
sir.
those guys say you are highly skilled.
Oh
All
God.
right. Um, Delroy, we don't have much time left for this stream, but
Yes, sir.
I am going to ask you just to play a little bit more on the organ, and then we will take it from there.
Yes, sir.
Wow, wow, Delroy,
Yes, sir.
I must say, bro, that was an awesome presentation today.
Oh Lord.
I
I
am
believe
quite happy that we actually got the time to
yes, sir.
present this to the viewers and subscribers
Yes, sir.
on YouTube, those who are actively involved on the Music Hacks Network. This was a long time, a long time
Yes, sir.
coming. All right, and we really enjoyed this session with you. But before we actually leave, Denroy, I'm gonna ask you to make mention of your social media platforms. I know that you offer classes, offer
Yes,
organ
sir. I do
classes
offer
both
classes.
online and in your physical space. So I'm going to ask you to talk about some of these things before you leave.
Yes, sir, but I got carried away playing this organ. All right. So, real quick before I go, I do offer organ lessons for beginners, intermediate, and advanced. My social media is Delroy White. I have a second page, a second Facebook account, Delroy White, page two. Um, you'll see me because I have a picture of me on the organ. and I'm also on Instagram, organist, White Organist 28. Yeah, and I have a YouTube page as well, Delroy White. And I have a music page called Melodic Sound Studios as well. If y'all want to contact me, you can contact me from there. Yes, sir.
Respect, bro. Respect, bro.
Appreciate it.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, viewers and subscribers. We have just finished a session with Mr. Delroy Pitchy White, one of the best organists I know out of Jamaica. Please make sure you tune in to all his social media platforms. If you did like this video today, please give us a thumbs up. Like the video, please. Share this video and leave us a comment. All right? Make sure you also hit that subscribe icon and hit that little bell so that you can receive all the notifications once we go live. Delroy is going to play some more tunes as we leave.
All right, so this is my final song. Yes, sir.